Hi, and welcome to Content That Clicks, your go-to pod class for mastering content in the tech world. We're two writers based in the MENA region, breaking down everything you need to know about content in all of its forms to level up your skills, your product, and your business.
In each episode, we unpack a different way content can level up your business, whether it's fixing UX issues, getting localization right, or using AI without sounding like a robot. Because when your content clicks, so do your metrics.
Today, it's time for a content boost where we share one of our favorite quick hit content tips to level up your tech writing.
And like we always say, this isn't just a podcast, it's a pod class. So grab your notebook because we're about to share a game-changing perspective that will transform how you write your content.
But first, a quick intro. I'm Rochelle.
And I'm Hennie.
And we are content experts. Together, we have more than 25 years experience writing for over 100 brands across 15 countries.
And we're here to help you write content that clicks. Let's get into it.
In today's boost, we're going to look at one of the most misunderstood parts of content, which is voice and tone. But don't worry, we're going to walk you through with a super practical 4-step framework to help you define, apply, and maintain your brand's voice and tone across all of your touch points.
Because when it's done right, voice and tone makes your content instantly recognizable. They give your brand personality and help build trust with your audience.
First things first, what is voice and tone? Well, your voice is your brand's personality. It doesn't change. Your brand voice should be consistent no matter what type of content you're writing. However, on the other hand, your tone, well, that does change. You should have a different tone depending on the context, emotion, and situation.
Think of it like this. Voice equals who you are. Tone equals how you speak in different moments.
All right, now we've cleared that up, on to step 1 of our voice and tone framework, which is to define your brand voice. Now, if you've already got a well-documented, agreed-upon brand voice, great. You can skip this and go straight ahead to step number 2. But if you don't, it's time to get clear. Now, to kick this off, you need to start by asking, if our brand were a person, how would it speak? A great way to do this is to use the this, not that method. For example, we're approachable, but not overly casual. We're expert-led, but not robotic. We're fun, but not goofy. Do this exercise and then narrow it down to 3 or 4 key traits. These are what makes up your brand's core personality, and we're going to build everything from there.
Once your voice is set, let's talk tone. Step 2 is all about creating your tone spectrum. This is what helps your team understand how the tone should flex depending on the context, while still sounding like you. For example, you might decide that your marketing copy will be enthusiastic and aspirational, while your error messages need to feel calm and reassuring. That's where a tone spectrum comes in to help. It gives clear guidance on how to shift your tone for different moments, so your whole team stays consistent. Just remember, your tone can change, your voice stays the same.
Okay, step 3, practice with real content. This is where the magic really happens. Once you've defined your voice and tone, it's time to test them out. So grab some real examples from across your brand, microcopy, emails, FAQs, social captions. Pick a few that don't quite land. Then have a go at rewriting them using your newly defined brand, voice, and tone spectrum as a guide. This is a great exercise to do as a team workshop. Get everyone to share their rewrites, and if they're all more or less aligned, you're on the right track. But if not, you've just uncovered a gap to fix. It's also one of the best ways to build muscle memory and get some hands-on practice.
Okay, now on to step number 4, maintaining your voice and tone. First things first, document everything. Your brand voice traits, your tone spectrum, and a few real before and after examples. But don't just throw it all into a Google slide deck or a doc and forget about it. Actually put it somewhere useful. It could be Notion, Confluence, or Slack, wherever your team is working already. Make sure the team knows where to find it, and don't be shy about reminding them that it exists. Then, run quarterly reviews and ask, are we being consistent? Is our tone still landing with our users? Has anything else changed? Because voice and tones aren't static, they evolve. So keep them visible, keep them fresh, and don't expect them to do the work if they're buried in a deck somewhere.
Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about a few common pitfalls that you want to avoid.
Yes, a big one for me, brands jumping on trendy tones just because it's cool but not because it fits.
Yeah, like a cybersecurity brand that's targeting the older generation. Yeah, they're trying to sound like a Gen Z cool girl. Look, if your tone doesn't match your product or your audience, it's going to feel weird.
Yeah. And another one I see a lot, forgetting about localization, especially here in the MENA region. Just because a tone works in English, it doesn't mean it's going to land in Arabic.
Yeah, you can't just copy and paste a Silicon Valley vibe and expect it to work in Dubai, Cairo, or Riyadh. Local nuance really matters.
And one last pitfall is when there's a disconnect between your marketing and your product. I've worked with a brand that was warm and witty in their ads, but once you were inside the product, it felt really cold and robotic.
And that kind of inconsistency breaks trust because your users shouldn't be able to guess your org chart from your tone. They should only see your one consistent brand.
All right, now it's time for a quick recap of the 4-step brand voice and tone framework. 1. Define your brand voice. 2. Create a tone spectrum. 3. Practice with real content. And 4. Maintain your guidelines.
Voice and tone aren't fluff. They're a strategic asset. They shape how your users experience your brand, they build trust, and they keep your content consistent at scale. That's it for today's Content Boost. We'll be back next time with another quick win for sharper content and smoother experiences.
If you want more tips like these, you can follow us on Instagram at content.clicks or TikTok at content.clicks.pod.
You can also let us know what you think of today's Content Boost by dropping us a DM or emailing us at content@clickspod@gmail.com.
Until next time, keep making content that clicks.